Okay, what's going on, guys? So today we got some news on Klay Thompson and his injury, which is not really official news, but it was just kind of Steve Kerr, talking about, Klay Thompson and, the injury a little bit. So somebody basically was talking to him about, Klay's injury, and Steve Kerr basically said, that it's going to be very, very, he didn't say very, very, but he said it's going to be very unlikely that Klay Thompson will play this season because of the timetable of ACL recoveries, which is like 9 to 12 months, with even 9 months of even if he goes in the lower end of like 9 months, that would still be past when the season is over. So he was just basically saying that it's going to be unlikely that Klay returns, and everyone's thinking that he's going to come back round after the All-Star break, which really doesn't seem that possible because I remember when Derrick Rose tore his ACL the first time. I remember he was out. He got injured in the first round of the playoffs, and he didn't come back the whole next year. And Klay Thompson got injured in the finals, which is even farther. It's like a whole another like a month farther. So he's for sure not gonna be able to come back this season, I bet. But it might be best for him and the team because maybe they'll be able to rest more this season, and the Warriors really need to make sure that Klay Thompson is 100%, and they can't just rush him out there just because they're trying to go for a playoff spot or whatever, because likely this season they won't be competing for a championship. So there's not really a point of just rushing him out there and potentially injuring him again. Like, they don't want this to be a reoccurring injury for sure, and nobody wants to see that really. He's one of the most liked NBA players in the whole league. So yeah, he probably won't play this season, and it might be for the best. He needs to make sure that he recovers 100%, and he's back to being the same player that he's been his entire career. So this will really hurt the Warriors though this year, because many people have been just saying wait for Klay to come back for the Warriors to be able to compete and stuff like that, which I also thought that, but now that I'm really thinking about it, I just don't really I just don't want Klay to rush back and just get injured just because they're trying to make just because they're trying to compete this season, which I don't really think they're gonna have a chance this year either way. Even this maybe if Klay was healthy the full year, they'd have a pretty good chance to make a deep run in the playoffs. But even if Klay did come back around the All-Star break, it would still take him probably a month to get back to normal minutes, because once players come back from ACL injuries or any type of major injury like that, usually most of the time it takes them a few weeks to a month to get back in playing shape, in actual NBA shape, and being able to play their normal minutes, which it would take Klay that long to do. So even if Klay did come back maybe a few weeks or a few weeks before the playoffs, I doubt that he'd be able to get to 100% before the playoffs anyways. So I just don't it really isn't worth Steve Kerr and the Warriors just taking the risk of him getting injured or coming back early, because even Klay said that he wants to just fight and try to get out there, but he said he wants to play till his late 30s, so he's not just gonna rush and play injured, which it's definitely not smart, since we all seen what happened to KD in the finals, which he probably shouldn't have been out there playing, but his desire to just get in the game and play as hard as he can, and just he wanted to be out there with his teammates and stuff like that, so that kind of caused him to potentially play injured, and was more likely for him to have that type of injury. So yeah, but some other stuff happened today too in the NBA. Or not, it wasn't today, it was actually yesterday. Joe Johnson got cut by the Pistons, which is pretty crazy, because I can't believe they just took him out of the big three, which he was doing so good, and they're just gonna end up just cutting him like that. I don't really get why they even cut him before the actual season started too. They should have just tested him out a little bit more, maybe in a few games. Maybe they could be signing Carmelo. I don't get why they'd sign Joe Johnson but not Carmelo, because I feel like it kind of fits their team, because they don't really have any wings that are very productive on the Pistons and stuff like that. So maybe they can pick him up. But yeah, so that's really all I wanted to talk about, was just Klay's injury, and just hope he recovers well, and it's gonna, really be bad for the Warriors this season if he hasn't returned. And it's not a big deal though. This might be a good year for the Warriors, just in the sense that they'll be able to rest, which most of the championship players aren't even on the team anymore. Like Iguodala's gone, KD, and all that stuff. But hopefully Steph and Draymond and the guys and even Klay with his injury, he'll be able to rest. He's technically still resting kind of from all these finals appearances the last 5 years. So they'll all get some time to just rest up and get as healthy as they can for the 2020-2021 season, which they might be able to get some solid free agents too. And D'Angelo Russell and Steph Curry, they look like a pretty good duo so far that I've seen in the preseason. And D'Lo looks like he's improved his shooting, which obviously he probably did. I bet Steph gave him some pointers, or I bet they're working together and stuff like that. And they look like one of the best backcourts in the league. So maybe next season, when Klay and the rest of the Warriors are all healthy, they'll probably be one of the best teams in the NBA next year if D'Lo, Steph, and Klay are all healthy next year and on the team still. And and Draymond, obviously. They'll be a very good team to compete with in 2020 and 2021 season. So yeah, so that's all I want to talk about. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, could you guys please like and subscribe to my channel if you guys are new? And yeah, peace out, guys.